Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to our virtual Kids and Kebabs night with Reshaunda Thornton. My name is Jade. I'm part of the YMCA's community health team, and we're here bringing nutrition education and family-centered nutrition education to our community. So tonight is going to be, we're going to be making two kebab recipes, and one healthy beverage recipe. Before I hand it over to Reshaunda, I'm going to give her brief intro. So as an empowerment and wellness influencer, Reshaunda Thornton's work has been focused on the area of health and self-care, with many dynamics as to how she contributes her knowledge and expertise to both local and regional wellness initiatives. In 2019, she was a recent St. Louis TEDx Gateway Arch speaker titled Winning Your Food Fight. She's been featured on Fox 2 News St. Louis as a nutrition expert for over 80 segments. She's authored her first self-help nutrition book called Play to Win the Food Fight. She has a thriving podcast show called The Dietitian Against Diets. She has a private consultation practice and is a wellness counselor for Washington University of St. Louis. Reshaunda also holds a leadership role as a member of the board of directors for both Barnes-Jewish Hospital of St. Louis and a local nonprofit organization called the Food and Fit Connection. As dietitian and speaker, she is passionate about using nutrition to inspire and empower people to build a healthy relationship with food that reflects self-care and self-love. Her mixture of passion and expertise has allowed her to change lives in an impactful way as she brings energy and creativity every time. Texas native and health enthusiast Reshaunda Thornton has received 2 bachelors of science from Stephen F. Austin State University in biology and a minor in psychology and Kansas State University in nutrition and dietetics, as well as a master's in human nutrition from Logan University. So without further ado, I'm going to let Reshaunda take it over.
Well, thank you, Jay. I always appreciate the kind words of just given the different variations of things I've been able to contribute being a dietitian. And today, one of the things that we from the YMCA wanted to do was try to bring in the family and, build healthy eating, not just for adults, but also how are we implementing that into our children's lives. So our focus today is actually going to be doing kebabs. So we call it kids and kebabs. So as Jay had mentioned, we're doing a couple of recipes, doing kebab-centered foods, and then we're going to put together some pretty fun desserts, or it could be a snack that's going to be at the end of it. In addition to that, we also have a trivia game that we're going to play to get you an opportunity to win some prizes, as well as learn more about nutrition. So I hope you got your foods ready and you're ready to go. And we once again want to thank you for being a part of this event and hoping that it will continue to implement healthy habits for yourself and for your family. Thank you for joining.
And I'm going to screen share a pre-recorded video of Reshaunda cooking in the kitchen.
Well, good evening. I want to introduce myself. My name is Reshaunda Thornton, and I want to say welcome to Kids and Kebabs with my partner in the YMCA and all the nutrition connections. So I hope you got your foods together. I hope you got your ingredients together, because we're going to make some Hawaiian chicken kebabs. We're going to make some fruit kebabs, and we're going to make a peach smoothie. So have all your ingredients ready. And we're going to do some quizzes. We're going to do a trivia, and there will be prizes throughout the time of this event. So before we get started, I just want to talk about the importance of our nutrition. And I know, as kids, as parents, you always try to find a space where we're both learning how to make healthy choices together. And this is a perfect time of the year. We got summertime. So what do we have in summertime? A lot of fruit, a lot of fresh foods that gives us diversity and different flavors that we can bring into our routine. bringing in new menus, even having as snacks. So let's discuss the importance of healthy snacking. And while we're doing that, we're actually going to start making our first dish. So if anyone ever heard of Hawaiian chicken, it's kind of a chicken that has pineapple in it, has bell pepper, has a nice sweet and savory flavors. So if you haven't tried it, I want you to take your time and work and be with me, and we're going to make these together. So, and you'll see the recipe across the screen. So make sure, you have all your ingredients, you have all your utensils. And while we're talking, we're going to talk about, obviously, nutrition. We're going to talk about, as parents, what are the things we do to help our kids in the kitchen, and also how our kids learning the kitchen rules, so we can make sure that we're safe when we're in the kitchen. So we're going to start off with the Hawaiian chicken. And so with the ingredients of the Hawaiian chicken kebabs, one thing about kebabs, you can make them with your fingers. So we don't have to cook over the stove. We can actually cook on a grill. We can do it in the oven. If we can actually just make kebabs and eat it, especially if it's something like fruit, then we wouldn't need to cook at all. So just know kebabs are a fun, easy way to make all different kinds of variations of healthy fruits and vegetables that you're kind of mixing together and giving it some flavor. So we're going to start off with the Hawaiian chicken kebab. So first and foremost, what you want to have is a protein source. So we all know that protein is good for our body, it's good for our health and immunity system. So it's so many different protein sources. We're going to use chicken today, but you can always use something like beef or use pork. Sometimes you can use fish. So you can always diversify what kind of protein that you want, but we're going to start off actually using chicken breast. So we're going to start off with chicken breast, and we're going to use some other ingredients. As I said earlier, we're going to do colored red bell peppers, and we're going to do pineapples. So as you see, there's going to be a lot of color variations in this meal, but you know what? Different colors bring different flavors. So we're going to start putting this together, and then we're going to make our secret sauce. And that's the sauce that we're going to use to kind of give an extra bang to the flavor of our kebabs. So when you think about kebabs, thinking about you make a pattern out of it. So for example, we're going to start off with a vegetable, right? So we start off with a vegetable, and you just spear the vegetable in the center. And this kind of depends on how big. We got short kebabs, long kebabs, but try to find somewhere in the middle. That way you're not too heavy on one side or the other. And then I think I'm just gonna add the chicken and do the chicken first. And then once I do the chicken, then I add a pineapple. And then now we have like an array, right? We have pineapple, we have red, we have the chicken, and we have yellow. So then we're just gonna add on another vegetable. Now keep in mind, I'm using red bell peppers, but we can definitely diversify what kind of vegetables you want. You put mushrooms on there, onions on there, green bell peppers. You can diversify all different things that you want to put on your meats in your kebab. So always be very, very creative in what you decide to cook with. So I'm going to put together savory and sweet. So now I have my bell peppers, I have my pineapple. Okay, I'm just going to make one little example of how you put it on a straw. Okay, so you see how it's easily put on a straw, and then again we can transfer it to the oven or transfer it to the grill. But what's going to be key, because obviously this looks like it could taste good, but I want it to taste better. We're going to make our sauce. Okay, so we're going to make what we call our Hawaiian sauce. So I'm just going to place it to the side in the oven, and now I'm going to put together our Hawaiian sauce. So this is where you get all your measuring cups out, and you get your spoons out, and we're going to put together this nice little concoction of sauce. And then you ask the question is, oh, I'm making a sauce from home. I think sometimes it's good to make your own sauces because you can control what you're putting in it versus sometimes going to the store and just grabbing something. So how are you being creative, creating every flavor that you're eating in your foods? I think that's kind of a fun thing to do. So we're going to start off with our base. We're going to start off with ketchup. We're going to use 3/4 of a cup of ketchup. And I'm going to pour about 3/4. I got to dispose kind of a measuring bowl so I can kind of guesstimate how much ketchup I'm having in there. Get enough ketchup in there, about 3/4 of a cup. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some soy sauce. So soy sauce will give it a nice little kick. If you notice, I got a low sodium soy sauce just to kind of make sure we're having foods a little bit less and lower in sodium, which is good for our health. So all we need is 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. So I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce in there. One thing about soy sauce is that it's such a strong flavor. You really don't need a ton of it to really change the flavor and give it like another more of a salty feel. So whenever you're making the sauce, you can always, put more ketchup or more soy sauce in there. You can kind of gauge kind of how you want that taste to be. If you want more kick, then you add that to it. We also going to put apple cider vinegar. Now that's just going to kind of balance it out a little bit. You don't need a lot of apple cider vinegar. As a matter of fact, we need just equal amount of apple cider vinegar as you would have with your soy sauce. So I'm going to Put about 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in there. And we need one more thing just to kind of take away all this tanginess. We're gonna add honey. So I'm sure, as we all know, honey is something that we all enjoy. It's natural, a lot of health benefits to it. And again, if you want to make your sauce a little bit sweeter, you add more honey. You want to make it less sweeter, you take some, you have less. So you can always kind of gauge how much you want to have. So all we do is add ketchup, soy sauce, apple cider vinegar, and honey. So now all we do is just kind of whip it up. Looks a little weird. Looks kind of like a barbecue sauce. So I have like a barbecue sauce color. And the smell of it, you smell a lot of the apple cider vinegar. But then again, now as you keep stirring it, I'm starting to smell more honey. So this kind of, the smell is kind of been a little bit more milder. And again, you can always guesstimate if you want less, if you want more. So what I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna make my main base. One of those marinate my ingredients in there. And then I'm gonna take some of this before I marinate, because once you put raw meat and raw foods into like a sauce, you don't want to eat it behind that. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to kind of mix it up, and then I'm taking a little bit of it out because I'm going to use it as kind of a sauce to dip my kebabs in, right? So stir it up really, really, really good. Pour a little bit out, okay? So I'm going to make another version of my kebabs, what I just showed you. Okay, I just kind of showed you how I made the kebabs with just the fruit and the meat and the bell peppers. Now we marinate everything into the sauce. So you get your sauce together. The reason why we marinate is because we want to really get that flavor inside of our meats and our vegetables. So we're gonna get the flavor inside of it. When we grill it, it's just gonna kind of sear it and kind of solidify the flavor. And then once we obviously grill it, now it's inside our ingredients. And then we pour our sauce on top of it again. It just gives more flavor to your meal. So now that I kind of marinate it, again, I take my kebab, start off with the vegetable at the end, because it kind of I like to cap it with the vegetable because it stops it from sliding. Then I'll put let's do the other way. Then I'll put my chicken on there again. And then we'll add that nice fresh pineapple. You can add more apples if you want. You can make your kebab any way you want. Then I'm going to add another, actually I'm going to say that red bell pepper for the end. I'll make this a little bit more different. I'll bring in another slice of chicken, get my protein in, then another nice fat piece of pineapple. Again, if you like pineapples, add more pineapples. And now I'm going to cap it off with the bell pepper. So this is the version of it now that I put it in marinated all of its sauces. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to place both kebabs. We're inside, so we're gonna do more of a baked kebab than a grilled kebab. The one I have marinated, I'm gonna keep that marinated. I'm just gonna kind of pour the rest of the marinade over the other one that was by itself. And so we'll put it in the oven. The recipe calls put it in the oven about 20 minutes. Okay, so we put it in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then we'll take it out, it'll be ready to go. So we got a lot of other things to cook. So we'll just kind of get this one going, and then we'll come back and we'll see how our kebabs go. So I'm gonna put my timer on just to make sure I remember, and that's always gonna be a good tool for you to use whenever you're cooking. Make sure you put your cooking timer on. Don't forget and think that you're gonna remember, because you're gonna forget. And before you know it, your food may be burnt up. And also, you wanna make sure you cook your food long enough, because sometimes that's the issue, especially if it's like a meat or something. So I'm just gonna put it on a timer. I put it on time for 20 minutes just to kind of make sure that it's cooked all the way. And while that's going, we're gonna talk a little bit about more about the nutrition component of it, right? So if you notice, we brought in our fruits and our vegetables and our protein, okay? And we found a fun way to diversify how it looks. And so we know we got parents here, and you're working with your kids, and you're in the kitchen, you're getting them acclimated to cooking. That's one of the best things to do, is like teaching your kids how to get familiar, get comfortable, and get confident in the kitchen. I know my child, when he started cooking, he started watching the cooking shows, and he started seeing kids cook. And it only inspired him to really get creative, putting together his own spice and flavors. And now he's more comfortable and more confident in the kitchen. So I really feel sometimes as parents, a couple of things that we want to be able to do is give our children freedom, but also kind of find a way that we are still overseeing what they're cooking and what they're making. So a lot of times when it comes to our foods, we do control the supply line. As parents, we can control what our kids eat and what our kids don't eat. So when you're going shopping, how are you finding that balance to make sure you have a lot of fresh fruit, a lot of fresh vegetables, a lot of foods that are not as frozen in the kitchen. And if that's all that's in the kitchen, that's all your kids are probably end up eating because that's all they have to eat. But also give that a balance. If there are sweets that they truly like or there are desserts they like to make, always make sure that you're out, giving them that balance. So they're not necessarily not having any of that, but having to where you're overseeing kind of what they're eating so that you're also teaching them how to make those healthy choices and not giving them a little bit of free reign of enjoying some of the foods, but just kind of open up the door to where they're more likely to have more healthier foods. I'll tell you one thing as a child, kind of growing up, we knew kind of eat everything on your plate. And that's always something that, you kind of feel obligated to do. And there's sometimes when it comes to kids, they may be satisfied, but sometimes they feel obligated to eat everything on their plate. And so how can we help our children to recognize their hunger cues and not just follow the rest because our parents told them to do it? Again, we do it that way because that's how we grew up. So I always try to tell parents, try not to subscribe to the Clean the Plate Club. Give the kids opportunity to show them what balance is and help them understand what kind of how much food they need on their plate for depending on what food group it is, and then allow them to recognize when their satiation is, when they're self. Now, if they say they're full, but they still want the ice cream, well, we know it's a different story. They're probably not prioritizing nutrients over like some of the sweets. So obviously, we know the difference when our kids are just wanting something sweet, but they're not, or they're full or not. So really kind of have those conversations too, and allow them to really express how they feel so they can understand what their hunger factor is. So when they grow up to be adults, they don't feel like they have to eat the entire plate. When you do that, you're not really recognizing how much portion your body needs. You're just eating everything on the plate. And that can be a hard thing to break. Another one, rewrite kids' menus. You get online and find fun recipes and sit down with your kids and help them to find some recipes that they can start making. What it does, it empowers them to want to be creative in the kitchen. I think that's a great thing to have kids where they're connected to what they're cooking. They can appreciate, cutting, making making their own snacks, making their own trail mix, making their own ice cream. All it does is they turn into adults that, again, not afraid of the kitchen. They're not going to go to a fast food restaurant because they know how to cook their own foods. They're not going to always get a frozen pizza when they go to college because they learn how to cook. So again, how are we evolving our children as young people as they get into being adults where they are building some of these tools, some of these habits that's in the realm of healthy eating? I think another one, it can be a slippery slope, but as growing up, we look at food as a representation of love, and it is. But we got to make sure we express when we making meals for our children, whether it's desserts, whether it's their birthday and it's a big meal. Let's make sure we don't translate, I love you, therefore this is a reward for you. And a lot of times as kids, we look at food as reward. If they won their baseball game, or they did good in school, the first thing we do is to go take them somewhere and go get a hot dog and ice cream. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it starts translating into every single time I do good, this is my reward, now that kind of can create some maybe unhealthy relationships with food to where they look at food as reward, or maybe foods that are unhealthy for them as reward. So how are we making sure we have conversations of rewards can be not centered around food. It can be taking them and creating an experience. It can be, going to class with them where you're doing things together. That goes so much further than, just because they did well in school, we're going to get ice cream. Let's just get ice cream because we want to, but not do it necessarily only as reward. So they can detach those connections. And the last thing is kids do what you do. You are the example. So when you're making your healthier meals, you're having the salads, and when you're outside exercising, they're watching. They're seeing everything you do. As kids, we want to be like our parents. Our parents are a representation of who we want to be like. So everything that you're doing, you may not, we sometimes as parents do things and not really recognize who's watching, but they're watching everything. And when you create normalcy of, we have fruit on a regular basis. This is what's in our house. We always have vegetables with our meals. We do a lot more baking and frying. Guess what environment they're getting used to now? What's their normalcy? It's going to be their way of cooking. It's going to be their way of interacting with foods. And again, they can grow into those adults that, again, prefer to have the healthier meals, prefer to have lighter meals, not afraid to try different vegetables and different cuisines. So again, consider as a parent, what are some of the things we're doing, how we're impressing upon our kids. Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about that, and hopefully that was helpful for you parents, let's start making some kebabs again. We're gonna make this time fruit kebabs. Now this is where we can get crazy. And when I say crazy, we can diversify it any way we want. So I'm gonna shift over a little bit. I'm gonna start pulling over the ingredients that we can use for our fruit kebabs. Why is fruit kebab something great? Well, it's sweet, it's fresh, has a lot of nutrients, has a lot of vitamins in it, and you can make it any way you want. You can make it your favorite colors, you can make it your favorite fruit combinations, but the bigger picture is we're just getting fun with eating healthy foods. So we're gonna make our fruit kebabs. So with the fruit kebabs, let's see, I thought about what would be some good ingredients included in a fruit kebab. And actually I got a little surprise at the end of it too. We're gonna start off with, I think we could start off with strawberries, oranges, bananas, pineapples again, and grapes. So we got yellow, orange, green, white. We got a variation of colors. There we go, right there, already cut up and chopped up. Now, how fun would it be as a kid to like make your own version of the fruits that you want and have it as a side dish on your plate? Or let's say the family's cooking and sharing meals, they can be in charge of the fruit kebab. I'm sure they would love to do something like that. And it gives them the freedom to diversify and bring in their favorite fruits. And it may actually introduce them to new fruits that they may not have tried. So you can probably sneak in some new fruits in there and have them cut it up and add it to their kebab and kind of see if they like it. So let's see, we're gonna keep it simple. So I'm thinking we can do more of a rainbow variation, right? So I'm gonna go from light color spectrum all the way over to red. So we're gonna start off with a banana. I think banana is a good one. Bananas have a lot of good health benefits, high in potassium, can go into almost any type of fruit dish, has really good texture. And then we'll but we'll diversify it with more pineapple. I think pineapple, almost everyone's in love with pineapple. So again, pineapple is probably one of those fruits that you won't have to worry about kids not liking. And then we're bringing a little citrus. And I think one of the best citrus ideas is oranges. Oranges, again, it has good health benefits. It's full of fiber, a lot of potassium. A lot of good stuff is on this star right now. A lot of good stuff that's good for your kids' bodies, good for you. And again, it has great taste. We're bringing something green. So we got other options of green. We got green grapes this time, but you can do honeydew melon, that's green. You can do kiwi, that's green. Let's see, what else is green? I don't know too many other green things that's a fruit, but you never know what you'll find. They always been in new types of shades of color for fruit. I'm gonna put 2 grapes in there because grapes are kind of small. And I like grapes too. And so I'm gonna kind of cap that off with a strawberry now. So again, the strawberries are very refreshing. You can do all the different things with strawberries. We have a nice little colorway. We have more of a rainbow version. Or let's say you just kind of want to make a pattern, right? Let's say you start off with a pineapple, then you get your orange. Then you say, you know what? I want another pineapple. Then we add another pineapple on there. And then we'll say, we'll bring a strawberry. And let's say you're not in the mood for bananas. Okay, let's not add bananas. We can just do whatever color combination we want. And guess what? There's no wrong way to make a kebab. So you can do it however you want. Don't have to worry about it being not done right or up to your liking. You can make it any way you want. So as I was thinking, if I'm gonna make a kebab, what would be something I can add to it? Because fruit can be a side dish and fruit can also be a dessert. So what better thing to add to fruit that can be centered around dessert and it's not the main dish of the dessert table, right? Well, I think a good happy medium would be sprinkle a little chocolate on it. So this is actually chocolate. It's a Hershey chocolate, and it's actually this is shell topping. So what that means is we can lay it across the kebabs, put it in the refrigerator, then it hardens up. So now we got a kind of a crunchy, kind of like overlay over the fruit. And again, I think this is only in encouraging people to bring in more fruit. So if we can do a little bit of chocolate, get more fruit in, I think I'm good with that. So what I'm going to do is kind of drizzle. Again, you can drizzle how much you want or how little you want over it. You can, I wouldn't say let's drown it. So I would say, add as much as you want that you feel, is a good medium for you. If you like it more in your banana, put it more in your banana. And again, you put it in the refrigerator and let that cool down a little bit. It hardens, and now you kind of got a little crunchy chocolate flavor over your fruit. So what are some other things we can do with that? We could put a little bit of sea salt on it and make it maybe subtly salty. Another idea is like put coconut flakes on it. We could put, little peanut butter, little morsels on it. We can do all different kind of things. It has a little sweetness in it, but the bigger picture is you're getting fruit. So that's always for me overpowers feeling that, yes, that's chocolate, but it's not like a chocolate cake. It's not a chocolate brownie. It has chocolate on it, but you're getting more of the nutrients from the fruit. That's the bigger picture. So that's our fruit kebab. So as we're talking about fruit kebabs, that's something I say as kids, that can be their specialty. Give them let them pick out whatever kind of fruit they want, let them put whatever combination they want on it, and they're gonna be more apt to be in the kitchen and helping you out. But also it's introducing them on, touching the fruit, putting the fruits together, being able to taste the fruit more often, and also seeing what it tastes like when it's coupled with other fruit. So we kind of have given them fruit salad with the kebab. So I think it's again another fun thing. I actually had a friend of mine that said she made a bunch of fruit kebabs, and then she had a bowl of fruit, and she took it to her family event. And she said everyone ate all the fruit kebabs, but no one touched the fruit. Same exact fruit, but everyone ate the fruit kebabs. Why? Because presentation. It looks fun. It looks different. But it's the same exact thing. So again, this could be a trick that you can bring when you go to your family events, or again, have a birthday party. Let your kids make fruit kebabs. Then that can be the dessert. Let them dip in like a chocolate fondue. I think that's a great idea. So now let's talk about kitchen rules for kids. Because the biggest thing for kids is we want you guys to be safe. We want you to have fun in the kitchen, but also understand what is safe in the kitchen, so that you don't, you don't get scared, or you understand like how to respect the kitchen and understand the appliances, and and as you get older, obviously you can bring in more skills. So first of all, always give the adults permission. I understand that we're watching certain easy looking recipes. It doesn't seem like it's that complicated, but the problem is you never really know. And so you're not, getting more practice in the kitchen way more better you having it with adult, because they can teach you the ins and outs, and you learn so much more anyway when you're with adult. So making sure you have an adult there, especially with you guys using some of the appliances, some of the cutting utensils, especially, so that again you learn how to do it the safe way. Before you start, I have my recipe here, right? So I always make sure you read the recipe, because if you miss some ingredient, it can really make the dish go sideways. But also teaching you how to learn how to put together portions and how to put together combinations. And a lot of times, some meals require you to make things separate from the other, then put together. So you like learning how to kind of put a puzzle piece together, but you're putting the puzzle piece together that you're going to actually eat. So make sure that you take the time, get familiar with the recipe, so you understand how to make it. And again, if you have questions, that's why we have the adult there so you can ask. Before you start, put your ingredients in one place. So if you notice, you may not see my entire screen, but I kind of got all my ingredients set up here. I kind of keep things organized. So let's think if I had everything scattered, right? I'm picking up the pepper and the salt and the ketchup, and now I can mix up ingredients, or it's just kind of, you want to learn how to be organized whenever you're cooking. So already get your ingredients out. If it's better for you, go ahead and put out, if you have something that's a teaspoon, something that's a table, already kind of put it together. So all you do now is add your ingredients together, and then this makes it easier for you when it comes to just now putting your meals together, and it takes away some of the frustration. I also like that when as I cook, I clean. So I don't leave the kitchen and everything's kind of discombobulated. I like to kind of clean, keep things tidy. It just keeps you more organized and make it a better experience for you. Another thing is, as I said earlier, talking about measuring utensils, pull them all out and keep them handy. So, get all your measuring cups, get all your measuring spoons, get everything you need, all your utensils together. So again, they're there to grab. They're there when you need it. You're not having to go, leave the kitchen and, going, trying to find out where the measuring cup is. You have it there tidy with you. So again, the more you have things with you, it's just going to make it easier cooking experience for you. And again, as adults, I'm sure it may be a good lesson for us too. When we're cooking, it's a good idea to kind of keep things tight, keep things together, so we can teach our children again how to respect the kitchen, respect the cooking techniques, and being able to create an environment where we enjoy it and we'll be doing it more often. The kitchen is the best place to commune, the best way to build experiences. So why not making a place that again we feel more at ease with it? And so that's for you kids. So now the next thing we're gonna do, let's see how much we got on that timer. So we got 4 minutes left on our timer, right? So we got some time. We'll let that cook a little bit. The next thing we're gonna do is talk about our peach smoothie that we're gonna make. But before we do our peach smoothie, I did mention earlier that we're gonna do a little trivia quiz. So I wanna see how much you guys have paid attention to this show. And also, what have you guys learned about nutrition, whether it's through school or with your parents? So there is a prize at the end. So you're going to go online, you're going to go to It, and it's going to be a really easy way. You log in, and you're going to see all the questions. I'm going to read the questions out loud. And as I read the question out loud, then you go ahead and you use your device or your computer or your phone, and you'll go ahead and you tap in which one that you think is the right answer, and then it's going to congregate, and then we'll see who the winner is. And at the very, very, very end of the show, we're going to make sure we capture that, and we're going to be able to communicate and contact that person as a winner. And I think we got gift cards. We got a few things that we're going to kind of give out. So make sure you participate. And obviously, it's another opportunity you can learn about nutrition and things like that. So go ahead and get your devices out, and let's get ready to start our trivia. Okay, so you saw the line. We put it in the chat, the website to go to the Kahoot. And I want you to now put in your code of 732054. And we're gonna put up the QR code for that as well, so that you can just use your phone and it take you right to it. Okay. So go ahead and get it out. We're gonna go ahead and get started. And so let's see, I'll give you guys just a moment to get it, get your stuff together, okay? Take your time, no rush. Give you a few more moments. Let's give you about 20, 30 seconds. And if that code doesn't work, we're gonna put the new code in the chat box. So it's okay if that one don't work. All right. Give you guys a few more moments. So I'm going to ask the question, but I'm not going to give the answers because that's the answer you're going to type in on your device. So we got 9 questions, okay? So question number 1, which of these breakfast foods would provide you the most energy? We got candy bar, whole grain cereal or oatmeal, or potato chips. Whichever one you think that one is, go ahead and tap that one in, tap in your answer. Question number 2, which type of food group should take up the most space on your plate? Protein, cheese, grains, or fruits and vegetables? I'll say it again. Protein, cheese, or grains, or fruits and vegetables. Question number 3, what should I do if I hate broccoli? So let's say there's a vegetable you don't really, really, really like. So what should you do about it? Should we A, feed it to your dog? B, give up on just eating vegetables completely? Or C, try a different veggie? Which one would you do? I think I know which one I would do. I think I know which one I hope you wouldn't do. Okay, question number 4. If I were to say healthy, can I still eat French fries? That's really a good question, because a lot of people feel if they eat candy, if they eat pizza, if they're wanting to be healthy, can they do those things? So this is a great question to ask. So out of the answers, which one do you think is true? A, no, but American fries are okay. B, sure, just not every day. Or no, or C, no fast food ever. Which one do you think it is? Next question. What's a nutritious after-school snack? We have potato chips and soda. We have a donut. We have apples with cheese and whole grain crackers. Or do we have a brownie as an option? Which one do you think is more nutritious? All right, hang in there. We got 4 more. And again, you can take your time if you're not answering exactly what I'm saying it, because you get the freedom to just you get a little time to answer your questions. Don't feel like you have to answer as soon as you need more time to think. Take your time to think. Take time to think. So question number 6, What should you drink most of the day out of these drink options? We have milk, orange juice, lemonade, or water. Out of those drinks, which one do you think you should drink most of each day? Now here's a good one. We have a true false question. So true false. The 5 fruit groups on my plate. So you may have seen the my plate before. That's basically a plate that kind of showed you, your different food groups and how much you should have of each on your plate. So if you were looking at my plate, you were looking at those 4 different food groups, or these are 4 food groups: vegetables, fruit, protein, grains, and fat. True or false? That's a tricky one. You got to really know your my plate picture to know that answer. And guess what? If you get it wrong, it's an opportunity to learn what they are. So it's okay. All right, we have 2 more questions. Question number 8. Which food is in the fruit group section? So we're gonna look at the food groups now, talking about what's considered a fruit. We have carrot, yogurt, bread, or a pineapple. Now, hoping with today's cooking class, you kind of know which one that answer is. That's kind of a freebie. And the last question. And again, you don't have to get them all right. It's whoever gets most of them right? So it's okay if you get some wrong. Which is not in the dairy group? Which food is not in the dairy group? I'm gonna name 4 of them. Is it soy milk, regular milk, eggs, or cottage cheese? That's kind of a tricky one too, but it's good for you to know, so you know your different groups and you know which foods fall into those categories. So again, take your time. We got a little time. We'll know at the end of the event what it is that who won, who got the most right, and then we will communicate and contact you guys to make sure that you're leaving your when you just asking when you're on this, we see your name, we'll go back and we'll find you and we'll communicate with you. So you got a few more minutes and then we'll get back to our show. Okay, well, I hope that you guys learned a lot in the trivia. If not, thanks for participating. It's always good to learn and actually maybe have something that you win in at the end. So now we are getting to our other dessert. Well, I said other dessert, but we're getting into our smoothie. So this could be a dessert. This could be breakfast. It can be anything you want. It could be a snack. So you can diversify this any way you want. And I think the flavor that we put together today, you're going to really, really, really enjoy. And so before we even talk about that, the smoothie, I want to just kind of let you guys know what the Hawaiian kebabs look like. So we able to get it cooked in the oven, as you see here at the bottom of the screen. We got a nice, colorful combination of a variation of healthy protein, vegetables, and fruit. And here's the sauce I was talking about. So now we take the additional sauce and we can either pour it on top or we can just kind of have it on the side, and then we can just kind of like dip our meats in. So again, you can decide how much you want to put on there, and you decide if you want to put on at all. And also, again, we have our other kebabs, which are fruit kebabs. So I think we're in good times here. So now we're gonna make our peach smoothie. So what ingredients goes into a peach smoothie? Well, yes, obviously peaches, but we're gonna look at what can be our base. So we're gonna think about a healthy base. It can be a dairy product or a non-dairy product. So you could be milk, or it could be soy milk, which is a non-dairy product. Or I'm gonna use almond milk this time. So again, you can decide whichever one you wanna use. So it'd be based on what you have in the refrigerator or what you're in the mood for. So this calls for 3/4 of a cup. So this is about a cup, okay? So I'm just gonna pour a little bit over half, okay? And we're gonna put it in our blender. So the blender we got here, we got a really, really nice setup here. We're gonna put the almond milk in our blender. That's gonna be our base. Again, our base can diversify. And then after that, we're gonna bring in some yogurt. Not only yogurt, we're gonna bring in Greek yogurt. So the purpose of the Greek yogurt is the Greek yogurt versus regular yogurt is that they both are pretty similar in taste. Greek yogurt has a little bit more thicker texture, but Greek yogurt has a lot more protein in it. So that's the significance. That's why we're using Greek yogurt instead of regular yogurt. So I decided to use vanilla just to kind of give a simple flavor so we don't take over the taste of the peaches and the pineapples that we're putting in it, or the peaches and bananas that we're putting in it. And so They ask for about a half a cup. So this is the single serving is about 5 ounces, so it's a little bit over half. You know, the air doesn't have to be exact. Again, you can always make things according to your taste. But they ask for about a half of a cup of Greek yogurt. So we got a half a cup of vanilla Greek yogurt, and then they asked us to put some frozen peaches in there. So I went and I got some frozen peaches. It also asked for frozen bananas. So I just cut up a banana and I got some peaches. I didn't cut the peaches up. I got them frozen, so that's totally fine. And you can always, if you want to make it more colder, so the frozen part what makes it cold, right? But if you want to make it more cold, you can also toss some ice cubes. So it depends on, your texture and how cool you want. You can diversify in the ice cubes in there, just kind of leaving that as it is. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of add the bananas. Okay. Again, I'm adding nutrients, I'm adding nice, good flavors to it. Okay. You can always add more banana or more peaches. You can make it any way you want. There's never this rule. You make it the way you want. You make it the way you want. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to eat it more. So that's the bigger point. So we got to think about, okay, what other flavors can we put in there? It's not really going to add, anything artificial. It'll be more natural. And the recipe calls for adding a half a tablespoon of honey. Now it says add to taste, which means you're going to add a little bit, you add a lot, you add a lot, you can add however much you want. So I'm just going to drizzle it across, just put a little bit in there just to give it a little bit of natural sweetness. And then it asks for vanilla extract. So vanilla extract is just kind of give it that extra kick of vanilla. We got the vanilla yogurt in there, but just give it a little bit more vanilla. With extract, it goes a long way. So it only asks for half a teaspoon. So we don't gotta go crazy with the vanilla extract. As a matter of fact, you put too much in there, you're not gonna really like the flavor of it. So just kind of make sure we don't go overboard with it. We also add a little bit of cinnamon. So cinnamon has a good benefit because it's good for our metabolism. There's other health related conditions that cinnamon is good for. It's good for our mental health. It's just good for our overall. It's a natural way that you're just adding some sort of flavor into your, especially the desserts, but not adding more sugar into it. Cinnamon, you can have cinnamon in everything almost. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of ginger. So ginger, it's gonna give it a little bit of a back kick to it. You don't want too much ginger because ginger can be spicy, but ginger is another good spice that we have. It's good for other health benefits with ginger. It's good for nauseation. It's good for our bones and our joints. It's good for inflammation. So we got a lot of other positive reasons why ginger is a good thing. But even with ginger, you don't want to put too much. So I'm just going to put just a small little pinch. Again, ginger can go a long way. If you're not a big ginger fan, you're not going to really like the ginger. Ginger is also optional in this recipe, so we don't really need it. But I just put it in there just so you can kind of know that it is a possible ingredient, and therefore, if you want to try it, go for it. Okay, so I think I got what I need in here. Got all of our ingredients in here, so I think all we got to do now is just blend it up. So make sure you have a really good, safe blender at home. One that that you can easily clean up. One that won't, that will do really good well on chopping. And so this one right here has different gauges on it. So we got a medium, high, low, pulsate. So I'm just gonna kind of do a kind of a medium, twist to it and see how well that goes. So we're gonna get this going. Got to turn it on first. And again, this is good when we have your parents, so you're not doing it on your own. And also, if you ever think you want to blend up more, have more control over, you can also just kind of pulsate. And that way, if there's a few pieces in there, it's kind of extra chunky, you can always kind of break that apart. So now I just kind of found an empty glass that we can take with us. So let's say you do want this for breakfast, or you do want this as a quick snack. It took me literally 3 minutes to make this meal, this drink, right? Full of nutrients, natural sugars in there. Again, you can diversify however you want. And then now we're gonna take it to go. So now that I kind of blended up this peach smoothie, now just kind of, if you pour it in there and it's thick, just like a smoothie. And let's say you wanted a little bit more frothier, you can put it in the freezer, and just let it sit for like 10 minutes. Then it make more of a thicker smoothie. So you can decide again your thickness to it that you want to have. So I think we kind of got some really good ideas with us. We got our peach smoothie, which again, that can be dessert. That can be our breakfast. We can diversify how we put in it. We got our main dishes with our Hawaiian chicken kebabs. We got some flavors, some spices to it. And we also have our fruit kebabs. So if you notice, again, the whole goal is learning how we just really use a lot of natural ingredients that are also healthy for us. and I'm sure they taste pretty good. So I just want to encourage you as you're getting into the kitchen, explore some recipes, explore new things with your mom and your dad, mom and dad. Get your kids in the kitchen and get them familiar with cooking and learn the beauty of like preparing their own meal. There's nothing better when you know all the work that you're doing to bring in those that you're bringing to that you're creating for yourself, which makes you appreciate what you're eating. And I think we got to make sure we stay close to our foods and really appreciate how we're feeding ourselves and what kind of traditions and positive things we're inserting to our families' experience in our lives. So I hope this was enjoyable for you. If you responded, we're going to make sure that we reach out and give you. If you need the recipes again, we can send those recipes out to you. Obviously, thanks to YMCA for being a part of this partnership with me and presenting this cooking class with you. We're actually going to do a few more this summer. So if you enjoyed this one, share it to others, tell others about it. Have them sign up. If they're in the St. Louis area, come join the in-person version. If you're away, that's what we got. That's why we have Facebook. That's why we have Zoom. We have remote classes. So you don't have to miss out. You'll still be able to participate and learn and bring in new ways that you're cooking for your family and for yourself. So I hope that you guys have a great evening. Thank you again for joining. My name is Reshaunda Thornton. And again, eating healthy can be fun, creative, and good for you at the same time. Thank you.
All right, well, that's all we got. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, Reshaunda, I'll let you throw in your contact info real quick.
Sure. If anyone interested in just maybe reaching out, have additional questions, feel free to, you can go to my website at reshaundathornton.com and you can contact me that way, learn some more information about me, see a few things on there that gives you a little bit more resource and insights to the work that I do. My website is www.reshaunda, that's RESHAUNDA, Thornton, THORNTON.com. So you can definitely find ways to reach me in that route. And if I hear from you, I will definitely respond back.
Awesome. And I'll be sure to link more contact information and even the recipe details below. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.